Hey, hi everybody. Welcome to Bill MacPhee Recovery Blog. My name is Bill MacPhee, and my definition of recovery is when you wouldn't want to be anybody else other than who you are today. And remember, there's always a way. Today, you know what? Today's Saturday, the 30th of May, and I usually do my video blog on Fridays, but I got to tell you, guys, I was away on a speaking tour last week. I left last Sunday and just got back home very, very late last night. I was in British Columbia, northern British Columbia. I did a speaking tour. I was in Prince Rupert. I was in Kitimat. I was in Terrace, and I was also in Smithers, and I did a very successful tour out there. I want to thank Noreen Spence for organizing that, and I got to tell you, the scenery out there is just unbelievable with the mountains and the snow-capped mountains and all the trees and the forest, and it definitely very, very inspiring, and we truly have a wonderful world. I know that throughout my life, I've been fortunate enough to travel a lot of places, and we truly do live in a beautiful world when it comes to nature and animals and different things. And how what really strikes me the most is in different regions and different countries and different provinces and different states, is that every place has something unique about it, and it's really, really neat. Anyways, getting back to our series. So this is our series, and we were talking about spirituality. I just want to make one other thing, point about this, and then we're going to move on to our next pillar. But again, the goal with the spirituality is basically believing that there's a God and God is for you and not against you. And basically, that's where we get our hope from. I want to tell you, uh, I want to tell you that one last story is that in the last video I told you about how when I was down to my last $200 in Singapore when I was 19 years old, and by some miracle of God I got a job there, and then I told you about how I was shaking my fist at God, very angry at God at one time for what He was doing or what He wasn't doing in my life. And then now I just want to relate a little bit of a story to you as well. I can remember I was in a John Howard Society program, and it was an upgrading program. And part of that program had a wage subsidy component to it. So what that meant is that if I got a job, that John Howard Society would actually put some money toward the wages for an incentive for an employee for an employer to hire me. So it just so happened, I told you that some of you know that when I was younger, I was a commercial diver in the South China Sea, and I lived in Singapore, and I lived in different places in Southeast Asia. I used to dive with sharks and dolphins and water snakes and barracuda and tiger sharks and all that kind of stuff. And there was a job opening that came up in Marineland, Ontario, Niagara Falls, Ontario. They wanted somebody to start training to work with the mammals or the dolphins and the killer whales, and that to train them and to be with them and cut up the fish and feed them and everything like that. Well, you know what? I read that advertisement and I said, you know what? That's it. This is God's plan for me. That's what He wants me to do. I had my diving background. I'm in this course where the employer can get a wage subsidy. I'm in this course where I'm upgraded, and so I applied and I got shortlisted, and I gave some references and everything, and I think I got a poor reference. But the point is that I thought God was setting me up that this is perfect. This I can see your plan. This is what you're doing. I'm going to work here. I'm going to have a job here. Thank you and everything like that. Well, you know what happened? I didn't get the job. I got shortlisted, and I was so angry. I was, saying, God, what kind of God are you? You're teasing us. Here you set me up for thinking I'm going to get this job. All the circumstances are perfect. It's a shoe in, and I didn't get the job, and I was very, very angry. And you know what? It just another lesson that I learned in my walk with Christ is that if I would have got that job, perhaps I'd still be there. Sure, I'd be training the dolphins and the killer whales and the marine life, the seals and all that. I'd still be cutting up fish and feeding them and everything like that. And I would have missed the opportunity that I do now to help thousands of people, to encourage thousands of people, to be able to educate thousands of people with my publications and what I do today. And so what I've learned, with spirituality is that we just got to trust God and know that if something doesn't work out, He has something better in mind. And I'm a firm believer of that. So I just want to share that with you today. Now, next week we're going to start our new pillar number 2, which is on relationships. And the goal in relationships is basically to bring out the best in people. Now, so check in for that. As well, if you have any questions for me, feel free to email me at bill@billmcphee.ca, and that's MacPhee, so bill@billmcphee, MacPhee.ca. And feel free to ask me a question. I can definitely take the time on this video blog to acknowledge your question and to answer it. Again, when I was in BC, it was just wonderful, wonderful out there. And if perhaps you'd like to bring me to your area for a speaking engagement, very simple to do, not hard at all, very flexible, and we can make it happen. So if you want to come bring me out somewhere, feel free to think about that. Okay, everybody, so have a great day, have a good weekend, and blessings to you. And remember, there is life after mental illness, and recovery is when you wouldn't want to be anybody else other than you, who you are today. Have a great day.